To discuss how to certify payments that can reduce a pension scheme's deficit, I'm joined now by Chris Collins. He's Chief Policy Advisor at the Pension Protection Fund, and also by Andrea Collins. She is the Actuarial Practice Leader here at the PPF. So Chris, what can schemes do to ensure that payments by their sponsor are reflected in their levy invoice?
We're keen to recognise the steps that scheme sponsors take to improve the funding position of the schemes that they sponsor as quickly as we can, rather than waiting for the next triennial valuation. So we have put in place a regime which will recognise cash contributions into the scheme as long as they're certified to us, and that needs to be by the end of April in the year that the cash contribution's been made.
And what are the options when certifying deficit reductions?
So we've now got two options for schemes to certify deficit reductions. We've got option alpha, that's the first option. In this case, actuarial certification is needed, but it doesn't need to be the scheme actuary. It can be any suitably qualified actuary that the trustees appoint for that purpose. It's worth mentioning that for 2018-19 onwards, we've simplified the calculations under option alpha. Our second option is option beta, and this is for smaller schemes in certain circumstances. In this case, actuarial certification isn't necessarily needed, and instead the certification can be done by a trustee or by a director of the company. So under this option, the payments are based on recovery plan payments, which have already been calculated by an actuary, and so therefore the further actuarial certification isn't required under this option.
So when can a scheme or sponsor representative self-certify deficit reductions under option beta?
Well, there are a number of things that the trustee or director need to check before they can certify under option beta. We've tried to make this as simple as possible by providing guidance on our website about it, and there's also a flowchart that really helps you through the process. A number of questions to ask. First of all, is the scheme closed to future accrual? That's essential to use this methodology. Second, are the scheme liabilities below £10 million? And third, do you have a recovery plan in force, and have the payments that have been specified on the recovery plan actually been made? If the answer to all these questions is yes, then the scheme can certify under option beta. It's always open to the scheme to use option alpha and to get their scheme actuary to do the certification, but they can certify under option beta. There are two further things to consider. First of all, is the amount being certified over £1 million, or alternatively, is the amount that you wish to certify, does that include a sum that isn't actually specified under the recovery plan? In either of those two cases, you can still use option beta, but you will need to get an actuary to input to the process and certify the certificate.
So where do I get the data from when self-certifying?
So the information that you need should be in your most recent recovery plan, potentially actually also a previous recovery plan. Essentially, you can certify payments that have been made and are specified in the recovery plan from the period from the most recent scheme valuation up until the 31st of March of the year that you're certifying. But those payments have to have been made.
And have you got some examples of that?
Yes, we've set out a range of examples in our published guidance on our website, and you can see this is an example of a situation in which a scheme has a single recovery plan in place for the period that they wish to certify. We've also put in place examples that cover what you do if you've got two different recovery plans, perhaps one for the first year of the period you're certifying and one for a couple more years. The key is you can certify for the whole period from the last valuation date up till the 31st of March of the year you're certifying.
If you're self-certifying, what is it you've got to be able to confirm?
There are four things that you need to be able to confirm, and they're all pretty straightforward. So first of all, that you've followed the rules set out in our DRC appendix. Secondly, that you're eligible to use option beta. Thirdly, that the payments that you are certifying have been made. And fourthly, that you're authorised on behalf of the scheme or the sponsor to do the certification. Provided that you can do that, then you can certify without the need for actuarial input.
So what's the role of the actuary under these two options?
So under option beta, typically an actuary doesn't need to be involved. unless the payments to be certified are more than £1 million or there are special contributions being certified which aren't included in the recovery plan. In either of those circumstances, the scheme actuary, and it does need to be the scheme actuary, will need to certify the payments. So from 2018-19 onwards, the calculation has been simplified in that you can exclude expenses relating to investment. So this is things such as investment management fees and investment advisory fees.
And where's there more information on this topic?
On our website, we've got a page dedicated to deficit reduction contributions. Here you can find our DRC appendix, our DRC guidance, some FAQs, and the flowchart which will help you guide you to which option you need to use. You can also drop us an email or give us a call.
Andrea Collins, Chris Collins, thank you very much.
Thank
you.